Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
What was that?
Me, you guys.
All right,
I get a moist mouth.
All night long, all I dream about is like the mountains in my hair. So I'm ready to do some business.
Damn right, we're ready to fucking do some business. Episode 305 of the Real Life Podcast. I'm Tyler Remchuk. The usual cast of characters is reassembled. It's Jay, Bagged Milk, Wanye, who you heard in the intro, and Chalmers.
Not me, though.
Around.
Yeah, I heard you briefly. You went bleh.
And there was actually last episode, Bagged Milk. We played the intro that's only Bagged Milk for the episode you weren't on, just to remind people you still exist.
Good, thank you.
Episode 305 brought to you by the HGA Group. Take your business to the next level with the HGA Group. Next generation of business services. They've done wonders for us here at Oilers Nation. They can do wonders for you as well. Let's start with Jay's trip to Nashville. Hello.
Well, first of all, I'm working with HGA right now, building out the Oilersnation Nation Network, dailyfaceoff.com limited business plan.
Okay. I know half those words.
That's a daunting task. So I called in the pros, just so you know, another personal testimonial. I use these guys for everything, make my life easier.
Leveling up. Got to do it.
I guess that's another way of saying that, like, even if you have an established business, never hurts to revisit the old business plan, eh? Because sounds like something most people think you have to do before you start a business, but you're working on this shit while it's already in play.
Well, you hit different phases, right? You have your first business plan to be like, okay, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And then as you kind of, get a few years in and unlock those goals and objectives, you have to build out a new one. And we are having some crazy conversations these days, so we have to look professional. So HGA is there to make us do so. So when I walk into the room or I have it be a crazy Zoom call, I've got something really polished that makes us look really smart and sexy.
Smart and sexy. Tagline of this podcast.
Yep. Hell yeah.
I bring the sexy.
You got to bring the sexy. Yeah, so Nashville. I had to go to Nashville. I had a meeting lined up with an individual. And Wanye, we could, who cares? We could talk about this guy now, right? Not a big deal.
Talk about whatever you want, man. You're living the dream.
Yeah, so we have a guy who right now is kind of acting in a mentorship role for us as he's kind of building out his own thing. His name's Shannon Terry. He's built up a couple interesting web properties in his day, in his career. One of them being rivals.com, which is was a college football and basketball site that was strictly in the college space. And then sold it to Yahoo and then built up something called 24/7 Sports, which was basically every sport except for hockey for both college and pro. And he had recently sold that to CBS. So he's on his next iteration, but we have a connection through to him. And he was actually, when he was talking to a major media network about sports to get into, they're pushing him to add hockey to the 24/7 banner. And in their discussion mentioned the Nation Network. And so we got connected and that's how we started talking to him. So kind of crazy. It's been a long kind of standing relationship. So anyways, he lives in Nashville. So I went down to Nashville to meet with him to kind of give him a state of the nation and get his thoughts on some things and seeing if there's something to do together in the future here. And
Did you tell him about Frank Saravalli running the show?
So I actually asked him about, I'm like, hey, here's before we had brought on Frank, I asked him should we go and get Frank? There's an opportunity. Sure. This is crazy. I shared it with him and he's like, yeah, this is exactly the type of guy you need. Because I sent him because he did his little vetting. He's like, you need to do this.
He was he was mentoring us and he's saying, go and get an A++ person. Even if you have to spend the money, it's worth it because it makes you so much more legitimate, right?
Yeah. And that's how the DFO rundown came, right? So Wanye went to market, got Frank to come on and launch with Gregor. And that was Shannon pushing us to do that. So yeah, he's he's our North Star on kind of what to do in this space. And he's about to build another big, he's going back to his roots of college and he's launching kind of a big college play here right away outside. And also another site that's it's called outsider.com, which is like a country and outdoor living lifestyle site. And he's signing on crazy names to it. he's got Luke Combs coming to his office to record a podcast, is going to do, and then do a performance for everyone at the office.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, I know, it's fucking wild. So he's mad that we didn't meet it. He really wants to show us his office, and he's mad that we didn't actually have the meeting at his office. We met at some crazy like rooftop restaurant in Nashville. But but it was super cool. Like it's so surreal to like go and meet with someone who's so accomplished and like have him actually have an interest in what we're doing whilst we're sipping on delicious bourbons.
Yeah, the crazy thing about Shannon Terry, I think, that comes through with us is that we've been really excited, and we've known him for like 9 years. Yeah. And the first time we met him, we're like, we're doing all this wicked shit, Oilers forever. And he was like, I admire your passion. And then every time we've met with him since, we've shown progress.
Yeah. So he's taken an interest in us, which is kind of cool. So well, once travel permitting, I've got them convinced, because they also got an inkling for outdoor stuff. So I've got them convinced to come up to Edmonton to watch a hockey game.
Nice.
To go ice fishing.
Yes. If we can get Shannon Terry interested in hockey and working in the hockey space, he's so super talented and knowledgeable, and he's done things on such crazy scale. It's like, maybe the blogosphere would do it on their own. Probably not. But Shannon Terry's done it for so many sports on such a high level. It'd be like good for the game, I think, if he got into hockey. Truly.
100%. So we're doing our best to woo him, but he's definitely interested. I think he just likes us as like people that are trying hard, that are passionate, similar to him. It's kind of cool.
There's no joke. Frank Saravalli, like a guy like Shannon Terry may not like know who that is, but he respects the profile of who the guy is.
Well, he knows the profile of people we need to work with and bring on. So he said Frank ticks all those boxes. So he was looking for an update of the Frank effect.
Did you tell him about the expansion draft and how he ran the table and knew everything about all at once?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah. He's like, that's exactly what you need. The Southern accent.
We had Jordan Eberle on the DFO rundown on Friday.
Okay.
And
sure you did.
He made a joke about how Frank, how the hell did you get it? Everybody's like, I only told like 2 people, my mom and my dad. Like, how the hell did you figure that out? It was funny.
How did he figure it all out, your end check? How did he do that?
He guessed.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. He correctly guessed all 29 skaters.
Yeah.
No, how did he do that? Like, if Eberle didn't tell anyone but his mom and his dad,
he got probably.
He would have told his agent would have known. Like, there's other kind of,
or someone in the Kraken organization. Yeah.
Does Saravalli have like 4 sources that give him 99% of his stories? Does he have like 100 people that he stays in contact with?
The second one, more of the second
really
one. Oh yeah. Actually, he got the Kraken news by climbing through the vents of their new arena and listening into their meeting.
Yeah, he got lowered down like
Mission Impossible.
I was gonna say like Ethan Hunt's Mission Impossible 1. That's Frank Saravalli being lowered into the offices of the Kraken.
Yeah.
Back to Nashville. Chicken tour or whatever you did.
Yeah, I need to know about the food tour, because like, first of all, you were doing the reviews on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Fuck me, did you eat some beauty looking sandwiches and whatever?
Oh God. Yeah. So I was like, I'm like, hey man, oh my God, I have a buddy who lives down there. I'm like, we really got to go to some hot chicken places, because I want to source one out for the nation vacation. Of like, I want to find the institution to take people to like, save them a lot of time. And so he's like, well, why don't we just go to a bunch? I was like, oh my God. Okay. Well, if I do this, I gotta kind of live blog it. So we went and did some research on like where the top 5 are, consulted with a couple people. There's a food show I like on Netflix called Ugly Delicious with David Chang, who's the creator of, I think it's Momofuku, I think is what it's pronounced, in New York and in Vegas. So he's a really renowned chef, and he's a cool dude. So I've been watching his food shows. So when he was in Nashville, that's where he went for hot chicken. So I wanted to go there. And then there was a third that we were going to go to. So yeah, I went to the first one, which is Prince's Hot Chicken. And they're all different, right? Some are a sauce, some are a dry rub. And I was going in there, and I don't know, I was feeling confident, and I got the extra hot, and fuck me.
Suicide mission. Why?
Yeah, I was Dracarys all over the place, breathing fire. And but the thing is, the chicken was good and the flavor was good. It was just really hot. But the thing I found is crushing a beer while you're eating hot chicken. Somehow that works. And kind of brings the mouth temp down. So that was good. So then we went on down to Bolton's, which is the one I saw on the show. So Bolton's is a legit like hole in the wall dive hot chicken place, which is exactly what I was looking for. Like if you look at the photos, like it's just this little roadside thing. So you go in there, cash only, respect. Their menu is super limited. They basically tell you like order your spice at your own risk. And they do a dry rub. So we got that. And that one was an interesting situation because it was hot AF outside. So we sat inside the restaurant. And while we were waiting, they were kind of slammed. As you can tell, it's an institution. So we were probably waiting for like 30 minutes. But she told me at the beginning that you could BYOB because they didn't sell beer. So I went to the gas station.
Nice.
Oh, what a country. God bless America.
Yeah.
Got a giant Bud Light can.
Sure.
Sipped on that. Hot chicken came, dry rub, so I didn't have to wear as much as I had to do at Prince's, which was good. But meanwhile, they had like a plumber there trying to fix an issue, and he's in the back, and all of a sudden, like we look kind of behind us, all this water's coming out from under this door, and like everyone from the kitchen's like running out frantically.
Oh no!
So they're trying to fix it. And everyone's just running around. We're just like here trying to eat our chicken. So Bolton's might be flooded now. Because we ate and got the F out. And then so we're gonna go to the third place, and this place called Party Foul. And we got that. So it's in this area of Nashville, which is just outside of downtown. It's called the Gulch. And the Gulch is like an up and coming, like Nashville in the last like 10 years has gone through like the same transformation as Dubai, like just crazy construction, crazy everything. And so Party Foul is in this new area. So it was packed. So it was packed, and parking because of all the construction around was like, it was not there. So we're struggling to try to find parking. And then I tripped over and found Third Man Records, which is
what the fuck?
Jack
that was
White's.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is Jack White's record store and studio. So I was like, wow, let's go in there.
Did you get any merch and shit?
Did you get a couple of pieces of vinyl?
I got a couple of pieces of vinyl. I've got a white stripe. So I got a white stripes vinyl it's an album of their Canadian tour. So I felt like that was really on brand. That's something I had to get. It's called like the Northern Lights, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, and then I got Father John Misty record that was recorded in the studio there.
Well done.
But super cool room. I know I'm coming back. I'll buy some merch there.
Gotta get a shirt. Gotta get a magnet.
Yeah. But all of a sudden, like I just ate 2 full meals of chicken, and I was trying to go like the small, like there's no such thing as small portions.
I wondered about this. And the heat too.
Yeah. And also it's so fucking hot down there. It's so humid. Oh. So we tried to take another swing at Party Foul. Can't find a parking place. It's lined up through the around the block. And I'm like, you know what? I know I got to try to get a third place in, but I'm like, we'll just call it. But Party Foul does look like a good time. I think it's got a little bit more of a.
You get it, Big Milk? Party Foul?
I like the play on words there. Yep.
Oh, is that good? Eh?
Yeah, I get it.
Really good.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be higher ranked, but we'll see. So if I was going to say right now, I unfortunately, I really was hoping Bolton's was going to be the one, but right now Prince's is king. But I was posting about it, and it was funny how many people were commenting about like loving that I was doing that, but like telling me about how good Prince's is. And don't let people fool you. Hattie B's is also an institution, but they've gone corporate. So
are these all chicken joints?
Gotta go off the strip. Yeah.
They're all hot chicken joints.
So Hattie B's would be like, that would probably be really synonymous with Nashville. And they used to be like a one location destination that was near, you know, basically where we got the idea for Little Brick, that losers and winners pub that are in the houses.
Yeah.
Those in Nashville?
Yeah.
So it's right beside there. So I've gone there once and it was good, but now Hattie B's has gone corporate, and now they've got like a location right on Broadway in this new building, and good for them for growing. But I'm looking for like that, like
one and one. Yeah.
The gritty mom pa, like little cash machine chicken joint.
Yeah.
And
place that's flooding because they have bad plumbing.
Yeah.
And that's
the hot
great.
chicken.
I loved it.
That's the donair of Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Like Nashville's known for that. When you go to Nashville, you eat hot chicken.
hot chicken and barbecue, because Memphis is big for barbecue. So Nashville's got a barbecue scene too. But we focused on hot chicken the first go around.
And not great for Operation Keep It Tight, though, I imagine.
So I've learned something. So I made the mistake because I wanted to keep it consistent. So I thought I was ordering the smallest thing possible, which was like the quarter breast and leg combo. And the fact they said it was a quarter, I'm like, that's what it is. So the issue with that is that like you got to work to get some of the meat out of it, right? And so, which worked really good at Prince's because they're like, it was like, it's very saucy, it's moist, it's this. Where at Bolton's, it's a dry rub, dry chicken. So it kind of hinders it. So where the real magic is at in the hot chicken world is you got to go for the chicken tenders.
Tenders, like a chicken finger?
Yeah, like essentially their version of chicken fingers with their breading, their rub or sauce or whatever. Because someone I was with was getting that and I kept having like, fuck, that's the move. But to be true to the review, I wanted to keep getting the same thing at the same place. I just started with the wrong thing. Learned a lot.
And you're going to take this knowledge with you on a nation vacation down to Nashville.
Oh yeah, I've got.
No one's starting from zero on that trip. They're going to use that knowledge that you've gained.
Yep.
I've got the itinerary in mind. So, and I'm going to be going out. It's funny enough. It's funny because Shannon Terry lives down there, and that's where he's going to, like, if we're meeting him, that's where you got to go. But I might be also going back down to Nashville in October for a birthday party if travel permits. So I'll be doing some more reconnaissance.
I also went to a restaurant that I would like to tell you about. It's in the same kind of vein. I went to a place. I was in Okotoks this weekend for a baseball tournament. And I'm wondering if any of you guys have ever heard of a restaurant just outside of Okotoks called the Big Sky Barbecue Pit.
No, go on. I love barbecue.
Sounds amazing.
So this place is, if you've ever seen like, Tennessee or Kentucky style barbecue joints on any of those TV shows, like one maybe David Chang has been to, they've got those long drum smokers, right? They're huge, like 7 propane tanks welded together. Well, this place had one of those, and it was unbelievable. The atmosphere there was great because you're on the side of the highway and you're in the kind of the middle of nowhere, and it's like farmers' fields all around. Yet
what's it called? I'm writing this shit down.
Me too.
What is this called?
Big Sky Barbecue Pit in Okotoks, Alberta.
Now, how come you couldn't put up stories like Jay, you jackass?
Well, I don't have to tell everybody what I'm doing every second of my life.
Well, no, but it'd be nice if you did. For those of us who wanted to know, I would love to know what this looks like. But you're an asshole.
I'm just kidding there. You know what? It's a good question because I probably should have, because this place was that cool. But like, it's outside. It's got great atmosphere. They've got like loud music playing. It's a place you would find in like a Nashville. Remember when we were in Kansas City, JR, and there was that little district that we were in?
The Water and Light?
Oh, Power and Light.
The Water and Light district, yeah. That it reminds me of a place that was in there, and it was just cool to be there, but like on Highway 2 or whatever that is, that's where, right outside of Okotoks. And so, but this, like the platters that you could get, man, there was so much meat, and we did it in between 2 of our baseball games. We had a doubleheader that day. And so we played our first game, and then we went to this place, and I'm not totally sure that was the best idea, having to go to a second baseball game, because I had the meat sweats. I know the other coaches had the meat sweats. The kids, they handled a lot better than we did because we spanked the team afterwards. But it was pretty cool. If anybody's ever been there, you'll love it. If you're ever driving like through Calgary, obviously it's south of Calgary. Okotoks is like, I think 20 minutes outside of Calgary going south. So I'm not really sure why you would go there unless you were going to Okotoks or, driving to like Lethbridge or something, but it was one of the cooler places. And it just reminded me because, like the places you were posting, these hole in the wall, like chicken places in Nashville just really reminded me of that place. What place in Edmonton would kind of be similar to a place that you went to in Nashville?
Yes, thank you, Yaremchuk.
Yeah, Oodle Noodle.
Thank you.
Northern chicken.
Northern chicken's like a good chicken because they got Nashville hot chicken there. So they're the best. They're the best in Edmonton for that genre of chicken.
Oodle Noodle before we got involved would have been one of those places, but now it's gone corporate.
Yeah, but in Jay's words, you guys have gone corporate now.
We have gone corporate, thankfully.
We went to Laddie Beach.
You know what's better than having one noodle restaurant, Chalmers? You know what's better than one noodle restaurant, Chalmers? 15. 14? Yeah, oh, 2 factories.
2 factories. So busy month coming up, boys. I don't know what we still need to talk about chicken racing, but that golf tournament is creeping up on us.
Yep.
She's sold right out. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 weeks away. So holy shit. So we've got, I think it's going to be fun. It is always fun, but I think HGA is getting really involved in it and going to make sure, and a lot of our other partners are activating the course. So there'll be a lot of good stuff. There'll be some good food. There'll be some tasting, some drink holes, some silliness.
Strippers?
Should be
strippers. Three hole in one prizes.
We have, so yeah, we're gonna have the Nation truck. So Sherwood Ford is gonna put up the Nation truck again for the hole in one prize. So please don't win. I love that.
Do you walk home from the tournament if someone wins that prize? Do you leave in an Uber?
I guess I have to, and I have to pay for the Uber.
He came in his truck and he went home in an Uber.
I would love to see it. I was at the Sherwood Ford hole a couple years ago at the tournament, and I think somebody landed within 3-4 feet of a hole in one. I would love nothing more than to see somebody win it this year. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be posting up at the Sherwood Ford hole.
I joke that I don't want someone to win it, but I think there's no better storyline than someone from the Nation, a citizen.
Imagine Chalmers won it and Chalmers won your truck with his first hole in one.
I actually had a dream last night that I sank my first ever hole in one. But so the thing about my golf game is I'm terrible with my irons. Like I'm very, very bad. I can't get distance with my irons, but I'm usually pretty accurate. So I always just like, even if it's like 130 yard par 3, I always very highly tee up my 5 iron and just lightly whack it. I mean, if I have to clear water, I'm fucked, but most of the time I'm okay. And in my dream, I got my hole in one and I refused to tell anyone or post about it because I was too embarrassed about the fact I used a 5 iron. Anyways, I would like to win the truck.
Winners write the history books. If you get a hole in one, you can say you had a lob wedge.
Yeah.
Good point. Do you guys see Frank Saravalli got his first ever hole in one the other day?
Oh, Chalmers.
There's another one down, eh?
I was texting back and forth with Frank because he was responding to my call to action for hot chicken. He was telling me where to go, and we're going back and forth. And then I was asked. Then I asked him a work question, and then his reply was, "You're gonna have to hold on. I just got a hole in one."
Anyways, that all ties in nicely because Frank Saravalli will be at the Oilersnation Open, and if Frank Saravalli wins the Nation truck, does he have to drive it all the way back down to Philly?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And we
that is impressive to me that he's coming here for the golf tournament.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So but the golf tournament's going to be a ton of fun.
On the 23rd, for those who couldn't get a team, Gregor is going to be auctioning off a 2-Sunday play with Frank and him.
And Gregor's not a big golfer, right?
No, he's a golfer.
He's not a bad golfer. Yeah,
right.
he gets it around. Yep.
Okay. Frank's pretty good though.
You guys keep bringing up Frank, and it just keeps making me think about last week's podcast. And like, you obviously got Frank Saravalli as a high point in your hiring career, but our interview on Thursday with Caroline was another high point for you guys. And congratulations on getting her. She's a real one. That one, she was great, and I think she's going to do some really cool things for you guys. Too bad you guys weren't here to welcome her, but
for the record, I was with Wanye Jr. I was with Wanye Jr. at the doctor's office, and it was going overtime. That place was bumping. It was like all the little babies hadn't been to the doctor.
I didn't know I was going to be sent as the welcoming committee for your new hires, but
hey man, we're on the internet, Chalmers. One day you're the janitor, the next day you're the CEO. That's how it goes online. Life moves fast.
And to be fair for myself, we were supposed to have her on Monday by design because I knew it was away on Thursday. So I tried to chime in. My phone down there was working. You
were the biggest show killer in that moment I have ever seen.
It was brutal.
It was absolutely brutal. He comes in on the golf course, A, we can't hear him. B, he's just like, he's not answering us. But when he does talk, it sounds just awful. It was hilarious. And I was just like, that's your boss.
The phone. Oh, my phone down there was so whack. And that's the thing. I wanted to show face because Caroline came on. I wanted to be respectful and jump on. And I fucking.
Oh, you were respectful, all right.
Felt really good. Felt really good.
That was respectful, all right.
I cleaned it up a little bit in the actual like posted podcast, so like the people listening maybe aren't
serious?
But it was still pretty bad. It was still I couldn't clean it up that much.
You should have left all the awkwardness in.
I literally thought to myself, Chalmers, oh fuck, who's gonna be there then? Chalmers will be all right.
Chalmers was actually really good. I would say that's one of Chalmers' best podcast performances to date.
You're strong in the game, Chalmers.
Chuck, that's very nice. Very, very nice. No, it's a big like to show how just good she is at this. It was very easy to talk to her, and like the conversation flowed like anywhere we want, and she wasn't like a stranger to just talking nonsense with us, and so it was great. But yeah, when she was given like just insight of what she was wanting to do, and she was just great.
What's the game plan, Jay? What are you guys gonna do for content with Caroline?
Well, we haven't nailed that. Like there's going to be a ton of stuff, right? So it's bringing her into the mix of the current stuff that we're doing. She's got a master's in journalism, so we're doing some writing. We want her to come in and get involved in the podcast. There might be a whole other podcast she launches. We want to get her in on the game day content creation from a video point of view, to kind of like I guess like a pregame show, kind of because she's got hockey chops, right? And she also she's also legit,
man. As legit as can be.
She's connected to Leafs Nation too, right? So there's a lot of content opportunities there. She's going to work with Waz on TikTok and help on the TikTok side of things, but there's going to be a lot of front-facing professional stuff from her. She's going to come and help host the golf tournament on the 26th there. So her and Josh will be driving around, videoing around, creating stuff. Like she understands content and she knows she knows her stuff. So she's going to be looking at the nation and bringing those elements to it, right? So something that we're missing, and it's a great voice to add to the team. So like I said, when I first met with her, I'm like she just screams nation, and she's like crazy, got a crazy resume, right, as well. And the fact that she lives in Edmonton, this is a no-brainer.
She's so nice. That's what I like about her.
She's super nice.
Yeah,
and she was so jacked up to be on the pod too. Like she was texting me a couple of days in advance, being like, "I'm so excited." Then even after the pod, she was like, "That was so much fun. It was great." And I'm like, "Man, you are fired up."
I don't think it should be overlooked either. I don't think it should be overlooked either that like a female voice is a welcome addition to a lot of male voices in this space that you guys have, right? So that's another thing that was a huge plus.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I think media in general is starting to, this kind of goes without saying, but like, I even think about baseball, right? Where like, there's so many strong female reporters in baseball that I've started to notice popping up, like way more than I would have noticed 10 years ago. And not just like whatever, like in the mainstream. I think it's awesome.
I think in all sports, but like hockey, you know what I mean? Like,
Hockey's
there's not a lot of opportunity for like real good sideline reporting when it comes to like hockey games. Cause obviously at a baseball field, in a football field, it's a little easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Caroline's gonna be really good. And she knows her hockey too. She was talking. We were picking her brain a little bit about Zach Hyman, what he brings to the Oilers. So if you missed that conversation, go back episode 304 with Caroline Shved, and I think I got that right. I struggled with it throughout the entire podcast. All right, before we keep moving on here, gotta give some love to an advertiser. And that is DoorDash. You hear them in the intro all the time. And the promo code, once again, to take full advantage of our new partnership with DoorDash. Ding dong. Promo code RealLifeDD. Download the app. Use that code. Gets you 25% off and no delivery fee on your first order. So go check out our friends at DoorDash.
I got Oodle Noodle on DoorDash. Sorry to interrupt your intro.
Hell yeah.
And there's a deal. 99 cents for delivery. That was it.
This is also the halfway point of the podcast. And I notice as we're recording that surveyor Brett is hammering me with requests to play the intro he made, which is actually pretty funny. So I'm going to play that now as like a halfway point. I will play Surveyor Brett's homemade intro, and we are going to like restart the podcast.
Work in, man.
I know. You got to respect it.
He's also been accusing you of ducking him now for weeks.
Really?
Intros. Absolutely.
There's memes too.
I was on vacation for like 10 days. All right. Anyways, Surveyor Brett's
He's been ducking you,
intro.
Brett.
Once it loads. Come on. Here we go.
To a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
How's he gonna fit it in his mouth? Like,
get it in there, Jake. I get a moist mouth.
Fuck me, you guys. My balls are smooth. You think you can just like turn on a switch and go into zero gravity?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know that. I mean, fuck, who doesn't know that?
You hold in your hands and you turn it on and it gets going. Why not get weird? Okay.
Surveyor Brett, crowbar and everything.
Oh, wow. This is long.
I want to get banged up in that costume and go watch darts.
Okay. There you go. That's Surveyor Brett's homemade.
There you have it.
Surveyor Brett putting the work in.
Yep. That's like 45 seconds. Brett, it's too long. We can't play that whole thing. Also, again, I have 3 intros, but Brett, I do appreciate it. That was very good.
Keep sending your
bullied
intros
his way
to Tyler.
onto the air, though. I respect the fact that he got it on the air. The system works. Just keep sweating everybody nonstop, and eventually you get what you want in life.
If you are listening to this and you have an intro, send it to Tyler at Oilersnation.com, but also CC me, bagmilk at Oilersnation.com. I'll make sure Tyler doesn't duck you.
And the lesson that he just learned, all Surveyor Brett, is if you keep forcing your M-Truck to do shit, eventually you too can have an 8-minute intro whose audio levels go up and down like a roller coaster, smack dab in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
I got a question. And when the person turns their mic back on, I'm going to get their feedback. But Jay, are you doing a COVID test right now?
Okay. So there's a story behind this. He was down in Nashville. He got randomly selected to be a part of this like test group. And he has to like go on a video call and prove that he's doing this COVID test and like show them
during the show. He's doing this.
Well, so he said it like 8. He said at 8 a.m. he was like 16,000th in line to do this thing. And then before we started recording, he was like 200. So he was like, I might need to hop on at some point and do a COVID
this is what
test.
real life is, people. This is real fucking life.
I just wish we could get the video of him jamming that thing in his nose. I'd like to do a commentary.
He showed us for like, it was like knuckle deep in his nose. And then he pulled it out and then he put his camera back to his ceiling.
You know what that means? We have video of that like saved. We recorded it.
Let's put that in the intro. Jay getting the old brain banana.
Yep.
Send us a tweet or comment on an Instagram post if you want us to post the video of Jay getting a COVID test. And
I'm
even
not totally. Go ahead.
What? No, I was going to say, and even if Jay doesn't want it posted, if enough people say it, a la Surveyor Brett, it'll get done.
I'm not totally sure that I could do that to my own nose.
Like, how far do you got to go in?
Well,
till it hits resistance, then you push hard and there's a pop, and then that's when you've hit gray matter.
Yeah. That's
have you not had a COVID test in the nostril, bag milk?
No, sir. Nope.
I've gone through this whole pandemic so far without getting a single COVID test.
Me neither. I don't leave my house.
It touches your brain.
Yeah.
It feels like it touches your brain, and it makes your eyes water so bad and your nose sting.
I got it once. I never want to get one again. Never again.
Man alive.
I consider myself very fortunate. I mean, knock on wood, that I have found a way to avoid that whole system. I've not had a close call.
People are traveling more, and I'd like to know maybe some more stories of Jay's actual traveling. But I stayed at a hotel for the first time in a year this weekend, and I missed a hotel life. But there is a few things that I don't miss about it. People have definitely forgotten elevator etiquette. Who gets on, who gets off first, and what do you mean? Moving in.
Maybe they never knew it to begin with, Chalmers. Maybe they never knew it to begin with.
Are you saying like doors open, they instantly go in without allowing the exit? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. I mean, that's just elevator 101. That's something you learn at birth, basically, right?
Yeah.
You let the people get off, and then you get on. And that was not happening this weekend. And people, I don't know if it's just that people are being extra cautious and don't want other people in the elevator, but man, those doors would open and there'd be a lot of room and that person would be standing right at the door, not letting you in. You're just like,
That
okay,
also drives
the
me.
next one.
That also drives me crazy. The LRT when people do that.
Yeah.
Jay, how was your COVID test?
What was that all about?
Oh, so I got on my way back from the States, I got randomly selected to do a home test. So I've been on this website portal since like 8:30 in the morning, waiting for that to happen. And of course it happens right during the
So what, they watched you administer it?
Yeah, they watch you and walk you through the steps. So I had to shove the swab up. She's like, gotta go further. Now twist it 15 seconds in each nostril up there, and I had to twist it.
Are you hurting right now?
I heard that little sniffle. That was
I would
audible.
feel
Hot chicken. Just think of the hot chicken.
That made me feel fragile, man. I don't like the fact that you have to do it to your own nose it's the weirdest thing.
I know it was mean.
So how far are we going up there? Like what? I haven't gotten a test. We're talking about.
I have gotten one earlier on into COVID, maybe last summer, and they didn't make me go as high as that one. Like that one I got. That one I got. Holy cow!
Party foul.
Yeah, that was
party
nuts.
foul.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I don't like that.
Since we're clearly lacking on things to talk about right now, maybe it's a good time for some Big Brother.
That was hard.
I'm not caught up. And
I thought we were having a nice chat. What are you talking about?
There actually is stuff to talk about.
Well, then let's go.
Get the fuck out of here, Big Brother.
Well, there was also a guy on Instagram who said I should talk less, so I've been trying to talk less today.
Oh, wow. That was that guy. What was his name?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Give him a shout out.
You don't remember the name of your mortal enemy?
No, I don't. But he was very mean to me, and it hurt my feelings.
Well, you know what? Whoever you are, fuck you. How's that sound? No one touches Tyler like that.
Yeah, he just needs to know that words hurt, man, and that's what I'd like him to know.
If we're gonna have hurtful words out there, I want them read on the podcast, please, so we can all enjoy them. Thank you.
No one else is allowed to be mean to your M-Check and tell me he talks so much except for me.
Mm-hmm. Fuck
off.
I don't even remember what post it was on.
You didn't delete it?
Oh no, there it is. Some guy on Instagram was
Why did you delete it? Why would you leave that shit up there?
It is. It's left up there.
Delete and block, boy. The guy, you never hear from him again.
I don't give a shit. This guy said 12 minutes in and I miss Liam. He's way better than Tyler. And then he went on.
Liam, I'm sorry. That was actually, I wrote that review. That was me. I apologize.
But this guy,
what's his name?
This guy went on to say that he didn't know what my job description isn't to host the pod. It's to produce it, which isn't entirely true or isn't really true at all. And then he went on to say that I'm a whiny, entitled millennial, which also isn't true. I'm not in the age range to be a millennial.
Are you not going to deny the whiny and entitled part too separately? Or are you just taking issue?
That is, I am 100% whiny and entitled. That's not in the question, but millennial's factually incorrect.
What is this? What's this guy's name? What's his handle?
I'm not going to out him on the pod. He doesn't.
Why? I want to know. Don't make me look it up myself.
If you go to the post, that was Jose Canseco and J-Lo.
You want Daddy to do it? Daddy will do it for you. Hang on 1 second, Tyler.
Good God.
I didn't want to out this guy. That wasn't my intention.
Out this guy. He left his name. He wrote his own name on the graffiti wall of life. That is Insta. There's no anonymity in this shit.
I don't see it.
It's on the post about J-Lo and Jose Canseco and A-Rod, the t-shirt.
Hey, that was a great t-shirt, by the way. That was a funny t-shirt.
I would wear that.
Maybe the guy has you blocked, Big Milk.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, see, because he's a dick.
I don't know about that.
Well, if Bag Milk blocked him, it means he's being a jerk.
He also went on to imply that I'm not accountable for my performances on the podcast, which is also a weird thing to say. What would that even entail?
Yeah, where we all sit down and decide who did a good job. Never. Where we sit down and prep. Never.
Shit just doesn't.
Jay just got a swab of a COVID test live. We can't top that shit for months.
Yeah,
that's real life.
Yeah,
I got this
and yet we will still do more shows. Dang,
that's disgusting. Umfreville block.
Fun fact. I traveled. Anyone watch the show Working Moms?
No.
Anyone's ever seen? No one's seen it.
Big Working Moms guy.
I chatted and sat one row behind one of the ladies from Working Moms.
I got a question about traveling, like just the general. I haven't been to an airport since we came back from Vegas. What was the general, just you're moving through? Is it different, or is it just kind of basically the same, but everybody's masked up? Like what's going on at the airport? So
I flew because I had hot dog and I was taking them camping to Saskatchewan. I flew to Saskatchewan last summer, and it was weird. Just the airport was weird. Everything was weird. Now this time around, it felt more normal. Except for everyone's wearing masks. Definitely like more protocols to kind of go through, but it you know, the vibe in the airport and just kind of the amount of people moving around it felt more normal. Except for, just like I said, a couple extra like steps to take.
And Smashville bounced back because it's Nashville.
Oh, Smashville is
back to normal.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, full disclosure, fuck, I don't know if I should say this, but I will. On my way down to Nashville, I didn't get asked about COVID once.
Really?
Wow.
I had to take a test before I went down. No one asked to see it. I just whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I was prepared, and then I had to go get a test while I was there, and that was fine. And then you load all your documentations and whatnot in your Arrive Can app, and you when you load it all in, you get like this like confirmation number, and you show it to the border guard. They ask you a few questions, and then they basically ask to see your stuff all over again. You show it to them, and then they put a random sticker on your passport, and that sticker tells you if you're going home with a test or not.
Shit, random.
Now, important question: drink at the Chili's or no?
Well, so here's the thing, man. So yes, the answer is yes. So my flight, so the only way to get to Nashville is I had to take a red eye. So it's Wednesday, 12:30 flight departure. I show up at the airport at like 11:30, go through and walk to my gate just to see where it is. And my fucking flight's delayed till 2 a.m.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
The reddest eye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. So, so the shitty thing is that the Chili's wasn't staying open till 2. So I went in there to watch some Olympics. I had a beer. Actually had 2 beers. And I think I got to hang in there for about an hour, and I still had some time to kill. So I just literally went to a corner and laid down to try to get some sleep and slept for like 45 minutes. And then I was on the plane fight to get to sleep. But the thing that fucking did is I only had like 2:45 in Toronto to connect to my another flight. And the thing with getting to Nashville, I took 2 different airlines. So I booked my return flight Air Canada to Toronto, and then I booked a WestJet flight return from Toronto to Nashville. So my tickets weren't connected. So I go and land, and I'm like, okay, I'm walking to connections, not paying attention. They keep saying like gate, this is where gate E is, or whatever the hell gate I'm going to, or gate A. Keep going. I looked at my ticket, doesn't say what gate it is. I'm like, whatever. I'm like basically almost through the point of no return. And I look and I'm like, I just want to check and see where my flight is to see if it's on time. Because like I only have like 45 minutes now that I land because my flight was 2 hours delayed. And I look and my flight's not on the fucking
board.
On the board. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, there's 2 terminals here. And I go look at my ticket. It says Terminal 3. And I'm like, shit. So I had to run back out of the connections world I was at, run and then get onto a train to connect to Terminal 3. And so it ended up, thank God the customs line was as short as it was. I was like, I got there with like 5 minutes to spare to make my flight to Nashville.
What does a flight to Nashville look like? Is it a Tyler approved less than 6 hour flight?
Yes, it's 2:25.
Oh,
nice.
Tyler, you're golden, buddy.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, from Toronto.
From
Are there any
Toronto.
Karens or
What about
boomers
from
tripping
Edmonton?
balls?
If you were to go straight to from Edmonton to Nashville.
I bet you could fly there in 4 hours.
Oh, we're good.
Just under the wire, Tyler. No problem.
Yeah,
So
almost had to bail.
I'm doing some recon. I'm doing some recon on chartering planes to Nashville. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the Vegas trip, we don't charter a plane because you don't need to. So I think we do like a smaller group, like 50, 75. And I think we try to do like 100 people to Nashville and charter a plane.
Can you imagine the "Let's Go Oilers" chant we can get going on our own chartered plane? Whew.
Oh man,
We could do the
hoping
wave.
that-
How quiet the flight home will be. Just dead silent.
yeah, it'll be a ghost town. So I'm seeing some. So yeah, I'm seeing some numbers. So I'm learning a lot about the charter game, and I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share my pain with you. So because it's not like a direct flight already, what you have to do is you have to, when you charter a plane, they will fly you down, but then that plane has to go and fly back into like the mainline rotation. So it's got to go back into service somewhere. So it's got to fly back out to somewhere, and you got to pay for that empty flight.
Ooh.
Wow.
And then you got to pay for the empty flight to come back in to pick you up. Because we're there for like a few days, they have to put the plane back to work. Like if we're in and out in 24 hours, I'm sure that you just leave the plane there and say, so that's getting factored into that a bit, but it's still not that crazy. So anyways, I'm working through the numbers. The big thing about Nashville is the hotels won't be cheap.
Well, if you need any help with that math, you know our boy Tyler here is prepared to help.
Yeah, I'll get him to crunch some numbers. But I think there's I feel like since Nashville's a place that not a lot of people have been to, Vegas, I feel like that's the one that we go a little bit deeper on.
Nashville's sick.
I can't wait. I've never been to Nashville.
It's the
like,
best.
I'm so excited,
fun.
and that's a year away or less than 10 months away.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, okay, so the air travel, so we'd be paying a premium to charter versus we could just get a bunch of tickets and go the milk run route. But do you feel people would pay a small premium to go direct?
I think so.
I do, because I just even think of when we came back from Vegas the last time, and we had that layover in Calgary, and everybody's just like, God, I wish this was direct. I think they would pay a little bit more.
I feel like outside of the trip, you're kind of like, oh no, let's save some money, but then like you actually thank yourself once it happens. Like Beg Milk said with the stop in Calgary, like I would have paid a couple $100 to have not had that moment in my life.
Yeah. Like it'll probably be like a $250 to $300 premium.
Oh wow.
To charter.
Well,
I think. Yeah.
That's it gets you straight both ways. I mean,
that's going to take $200 off your gambling budget though, Tyler.
I've only heard back from one airline. So we'll see.
Are there casinos in Nashville?
You can bet on that game somehow.
Yeah.
I could always find somewhere to bet, but I was just wondering if there were casinos because I know some states don't have them.
Yeah.
We're like actually getting close to an hour here already, which is pretty wild. Podcast flying by. Didn't talk any hockey, but I'm okay with that actually. I'm for Ville Block. I brought it up earlier. Big news there.
Oh,
large news. We got our occupancy permit today.
Let's go.
That means we're allowed to occupy the building. The building's been deemed acceptable.
Now, does this mean, because I've been tricked numerous times throughout this entire process into thinking we were done? It's like, oh, we got our occupancy. Yeah. Oh, but it's like 1 of 10 occupancies. It just means that our permit occupancy with respect to blah, blah, blah. What does today's permit mean?
So this is the base building occupancy, which now means that the tent, so Dogpatch and Bread and Butter can now apply for theirs. It's like a domino effect.
Yes. So was today's, do you know if the fireplaces were involved in today's inspection, Jay?
I don't think so. I don't think they needed to be.
Okay. That's the highest level of fuckery right now. I'm checking on the Umperville block. Okay. Is that the whole thing may be held up because the fireplaces required for the third floor Airbnbs are held up due to COVID. It could be that those fireplaces hold the entire thing from opening up.
No,
what?
I know.
Even like the office spaces?
We're good. No, we're good.
We're good.
In that
we're good now?
Yeah. So now we go through the process. So now we are getting all of we're missing one final inspection on Dogpatch or Bread and Butter. I don't know which part of the kitchen. There's a gas inspection that needs to be done because we had to move a gas line. So that's happening. So that happens. Once that's done, that's the last permit needed to apply for all the main floor occupancy. So nothing's on the third floor is holding that up.
And soon as what? Nation HQ 4.0?
4.0, yeah. 5.0. Remember you had the brief homestead?
Oh yeah.
5.0. Yeah, they love the level in there.
Can we go through? Can you take me through the homes?
to the HQs.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say the first home was the condo Wanye and I lived in.
Well,
yeah, I remember going in there once, and it was you guys still had Igniter tickets going on in the one room, and there was just stacks of tickets everywhere.
Well, we had there, but we started it out when I was still living in my parents' house, and we started Oilers Nation, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah,
I can remember like working in my parents' downstairs office, slaving away.
Yeah,
and then so as that 1.0, I don't know.
Like our first real office was in the McCosham Lofts on 109th Street and like 103rd Ave.
That's where I went my first day. I didn't know that we had moved to the Fountain Tire, and that's where I showed up. And I was like, "Why is nobody here?"
we bought it because we could, but we had no need for it whatsoever. It was a very strange operation.
It was way too big a space, but we could buy it, so we bought it.
Yeah,
and then we just had like 2 desks in there in this big empty space, but it was in this old like building with brick pillars, like
we never ever went there ever.
So, but what happened, which was super great for us, is that our neighbor was expanding, their business was expanding, and he walked over and he's like, "I need to buy your space," and we're like, "Thank God." Yes,
it is an albatross for us at this moment.
Yes.
So that technically we could call that what 2.0.
Yeah, and then from there, when we sold, we moved into on 105th Street and 102nd Ave. There's a Fountain Tire, and in there there's this other side to it where there's like a hairstylist, Louise, who is our who was our guard dog,
our paramour.
Great haircuts too. Love Louise.
Soft touch on the back when you left.
Mild sexual harassment at all times in receiving from her.
And we took the office space there, and they did
always smell like tires.
Always smell like tires. Our like bathrooms were in the Fountain Tire side, but we always got to drink their coffee, which was great. And that was good.
They would be doing stuff in their like garage, their back of that, but because where our like kitchen was, or where we kept all the Nation gear at that point, the roof the wall didn't go all the way to the roof. So they would be doing shit in that back bay or whatever, and just dust would be pouring into our office all the time.
Yeah. Floor to ceiling windows. So we were in a fishbowl on the one side.
Yeah.
It was cold as fuck in the winter, reeked of tires. But it was a good little zone. Then Little Brick came to be. We found Little Brick, bought it, did a big renovation to kind of restore it and bring it back to life, to open up the cafe and also set up our offices up there. Meanwhile, still holding the lease for the Fountain Tire zone, and we went and put it to market to sublease it. We ended up subleasing that space to Uber.
Big deal.
We were Uber's landlord. That felt cool. And then turned Little Brick into Nation HQ, and then briefly
that's where I am right now.
That's where you are right now. That's where I am. I'm right underneath you. And then brief stint at Homestead. We went the co-working space route. Realized we were growing too fast for it, so
and we were way too loud.
And we were way too exactly. We're a content company, so then we brought it back into Little Brick, and I think that was all good for the squad. And now we're moving 2 blocks down the street to Umberville block, and hopefully taking over that whole floor.
Yeah. And
a fucking palace. We're never moving again.
Cool. I have 2 things. One, can someone hit me up with a photo of the first ever Nation HQ or one of the first ones? And then I can post it along with the new one and do like a comparison. So that's the one thing. Also, when can I get my hands on this new podcast studio and start buying new toys for it?
There is a question to be asked about this new podcast studio if we're going to have this meeting live on the air. One of the tweaks that was made between the initial construction of the building and where it is now is they replaced the boiler system with furnaces. So it ended up that there's like a lot more furnace shit on every floor. And I'm worried that the room right now on the second floor, that's currently the studio, I'm worried the ambient noise level's too high.
That was one of the first things I actually said when I broke in with sales guy Jared and looked around.
So there's a couple options, and I have a sound guy coming down. Okay. You can apparently coat the inside of that room with like foam.
Yeah, like we did downstairs.
We had the same issue. We had the same issue at LB. We had the same issue at LB. The furnace. Yeah, we shared a room. We shared a wall with the furnace room. Plus, there was like a big vent going through that wasn't sealed.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of but we we sorted through that. So I'm not too.
We'll figure it out.
Some engineering.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So when you get your hands on it, your M-Chuck, start of the new season.
Okay. Cool.
I think it's gonna be great. I'm excited.
It's gonna be amazing, man. This is the shit. 109th Street, McCosham Lofts, us. All we ever did was go and get coffee. That was all we ever did. We'd come to work, we're like, ugh, it's all dusty in here. We should go get some coffee. And we'd come back 2 hours later and be like, we want to go get some lunch. And I literally remember saying, we should have an office with a cafe in it. We're like, ah ha ha. And then we did.
The thing
time we saved.
I think I'm most worried about Nation HQ 5.0 or whatever we decided it is having a bakery in it, because your boy loves him some fresh bread. It's problematic.
The Umberville 50.
Before we wrap,
it's gonna at least 50.
Before we wrap up this pod, didn't give any love yet to Twig and Berries, who's going to be helping out at the golf tournament. We talked about that a little bit earlier on, or we talked about the golf tournament. And if you want to look fresh in some Twig and Berries gear, if you wear nutsack underwear, you can show it to me at the golf tournament.
You want everybody at the golf tournament to show you their underwear.
Please show Tyler your nutsack underwear. Please do it.
I immediately regret saying that, but you can. And if you want to pick some up, promo code Nation15 gets you 15% off at twigandberries.ca. Great local company. Go support them. All right.
And if you're not going to the golf tournament, just email your pictures of yourself in your nutsack underwear to Tyler at Oilersnation.com.
If you don't have nutsack underwear, show him your nutsack and he'll give you some. Promo code nutsack.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I miss
being
you
all right, buddy? What's going on over
quiet.
there? You're goddamn mute, drinking a Slurpee or whatever you're doing.
He's having spit.
I'm just sitting here listening, man.
Oh, we interviewed Carolyn one time, and now you're just Johnny Mysterious.
Real great rundown of all the Nation HQs. I could totally picture them all in my head.
All right, you've been to all of them.
Yeah, it was really fluid. Yeah, no, that's the thing but I was trying to act as a listener there for a minute and really see if I could follow this, and
it made no sense.
Any of it.
Okay,
you couldn't make sense of it.
1.0 was a condo apartment that Zach.
No, I don't think we need to go over it again.
Number 2.
I remember you.
Just a big open room.
You came to the office on 109th Street. You walked in. You're like, "Yeah, this is great. Why?" And I was like, "You don't understand business."
Yeah,
that's your problem.
I remember going to the house in Belmead was the first one. I obviously been to your parents' house, but the house in Belmead, I just remember going in there and seeing a stack of 10 Wiis that somehow you guys stole off the back of a truck and we're going to sell them. And then I never really went to the condo downtown. I don't think I'd ever been up there. But then, yes, the first office building I saw. Then the Fountain Tire one was hilarious because I walked in there and I went, "Oh, this tire smell's never going to get old, eh?" And so
we all had headaches and shit.
Yeah, we had a headache. Yeah. Vanya, do you remember when you and I tried to install a TV on the wall at the Fountain Tire office and we just eventually gave up and leaned it against the wall?
Yeah, do you remember carrying the TV from the Best Buy?
Yeah, we did a portage down the road. It was nice.
Okay, wait.
I didn't fit in your car.
I want to circle back to something Chalmers said. You guys had a stack of Nintendo Wiis that you tried to flip.
We did flip.
You did a one and done with Nintendo Wiis in like 2007.
This is a good story.
We bought them all up in Saskatchewan because we knew they were hot in Alberta. So we bought anyone that was selling them. We were buying them, and then drove them back to Edmonton, and then just put it out there in the universe. We had Wiis, and quickly people were. It was right before Christmas. Yeah.
And so and like Wii was going to be, because it was the first real game that you like used hand remotes, like and you could physically do. So it was going to become really popular, and I mean, it was going to be that like present of the season for Christmas.
Yeah,
and people.
That's exactly why we bought it.
And so they came home.
Like it's the fucking Tickle Me Elmo of 2001 or whatever.
I was like, you guys need to get a job.
Hey man,
Gary Vee would be so proud of you.
No. That's what I thought.
We went to great lengths. We drove. Yeah. We were in Moose Jaw. We drove to Regina, which is the opposite direction. Went there, bought some. Then went over to Saskatoon, which is now back on the way home. And got
a free Wii for life because we bought enough Wiis that we got one free. You dig?
Yeah. We didn't
understand. So understand this, and I'm sure you guys have all gone through it in your early to mid 20s. You all have those friends, some of them are like really into like their trade or their career that they're doing. Some of them are still working like, part-time gigs and going to school. And you always have those friends who you never fucking know or understand what they're doing. And you go over to their house and they've got Wii's in there. And then like the next day they've got a bunch of BlackBerry Touches and you're like, are you guys just robbing trucks or like, I don't.
Why did your mind go to crime? Why did your mind go to crime? It's just e-commerce.
Because if you ever watch like a mafia movie, or if you've ever like, what was the last movie in Barry, all the mafia things is they just rob trucks and then they have pallets full of goods.
Yeah,
they sell them. And so that's
exactly
like,
it.
So us and all of our friends, I'm probably waiting tables at like Joey's being like, what are these guys even doing? Like, I don't even get it. What is the path? What is the end game here spent? But then, it was fucking awesome. I thought it was hilarious because they always had freedom. Can't argue with that. Always had freedom.
Hey, I'm going to fucking remind you of when you worked in retail and you were running a bootleg. We won't say.
All right, so things got really off the rails there for about. This is where like the edit will come back in for the pod. Things got off the rails for about 30 seconds
do
here.
One long beep there. Just
government names are being flung about.
Wanye accused Chalmers of crime, so Chalmers just started yelling everyone's government names to make sure it got edited out.
Yeah, I don't know why I got looped into it. I was just laughing at the story.
That's collateral damage, man. Yeah.
I could do some damage just by leaving it in.
I figured it out. I figured out how to get this podcast edited. That's what
He's getting smarter. God, he's like a velociraptor. He's figuring out Jurassic Park.
He's evolving.
He's become self-aware.
I got a meeting with our friend Coombsy, so I'm going to wrap up this week's episode of the pod. For the people who enjoy nonsense and not hockey talk, I had 3 things written down. One of them was a hockey topic, and it was the only one we didn't get to. So how about that? And,
What was it?
Just real quick, rapid fire.
No.
Come on.
No, it's good. It's good content. It's good content. I wanted to have a full conversation. It's not happening.
I promise a good response. Hit me.
No, because I need to wrap this up because I'm going to meet with Coombsy. Also, on Thursday, if you like hockey talk, we are expected to have a former Oiler on the pod. So that should be a ton of fun as well.
I know. And here's the problem. If you like hockey talk, but you like JR and myself not being here, we will not be here.
Oh, really? So it's like just going to be me and this guy?
So may as well ask the question.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Caroline on.
Yeah, we could bring Caroline on. That's a good idea.
She might be on holidays.
I think she is.
Just started. She's already on holidays. What a life.
Man.
Well, her official start date is until the 16th. This is by design.
Never mind then. Yeah, she's forgiven.
All right, we're going to wrap this episode up. Shout out to the HGA group, twigandberries.ca. Our friends at Manscaped, where the promo code is real life, gets you 20% off and free shipping. And of course, DoorDash, which can keep you fed for a very, very long time. Thanks for listening to episode 305 of the Real Life Podcast. For Jay, Wanye, Bag Milk, and Chalmers, I'm Tyler Yormtruck. We'll talk to you again later on in the week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.